Every small town has its shadows, lurking behind the facades of old houses. For young Toma, these shadows take the form of his own father, Modoki, a man whose inner darkness poisons everything around him. The film is set in the Japanese wilderness of the 1980s, along the banks of a river that appears sleepy and serene, yet conceals dangerous whirlpools beneath. Toma lives in constant tension, watching his father unleash his rage on those around him. His mother has long since passed away, leaving her son alone with a hereditary anger that seems to be passed down through the family from generation to generation, like an incurable disease. Shinji Aoyama's film is an immersion into the atmosphere of a sultry summer, where every sound and every glance is permeated with the anticipation of an imminent explosion. Toma's quiet life changes when Tomoko, his father's new companion, arrives at their home. She enters this world of pain with gentle dignity, trying to transform the cold dwelling into something resembling a home. Tomoko assumes the role of a caring stepmother. She cooks, cleans, and tries to surround Toma with the warmth he has been deprived of for so many years. However, Madoka sees her only as an object for his domination. The walls of the house tremble with his outbursts of aggression, and the silence of the night is often broken by the sounds of struggle. Toma, locked in his room, unwittingly becomes a witness to this suffering. He watches Tomoko silently endure the blows of fate, and in his heart begins to grow not only compassion, but also the realization that they are both hostages of the same man.
Gradually, an invisible yet strong bond of understanding develops between the teenager and his stepmother. It's not words or loud promises, but shared moments of silence in the kitchen when his father drifts off into a deep sleep. Tomoko becomes the only person who notices Toma's inner struggle. She sees how he fears his own reflection, afraid to discover his father's features there. In her gestures, when she serves him food or nods subtly in support, Toma finds rare comfort. She's not just his father's roommate. She's an ally whose presence makes the unbearable atmosphere at home a little easier. Their bond becomes an emotional refuge, a place where two wounded people can simply be themselves without fear of sudden anger. Town rumors do not spare Toma, claiming that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree and that he will meet the same fate as Modoki. These whispers weigh heavily on the young man, forcing him to seek solitude by the river. The water becomes a mirror of his soul, turbulent, frightened, and confused. Tomoko often finds him there, sharing moments of contemplation. She doesn't lecture or offer empty advice. Her silent presence speaks louder than words. She teaches him that humanity can be preserved even in the harshest conditions. Thanks to her, Toma begins to understand that his fate is not predetermined by the blood coursing through his veins. Their relationship in this film is a hymn to human resilience, devoid of any hint of romance, but filled with a deep, almost sacred respect.
The climax comes on one of those sultry nights when Modoki's rage reaches its limits. Seeing Tomoko suffer, Toma can no longer stand by. A power awakens within him, directed not toward destruction, but toward protection. A clash ensues that forever changes the balance of power in this house. It is a painful and shocking moment when a son is forced to confront the man who gave him life to save the one who gave him hope. When the dust settles, it becomes clear that the old order has been shattered forever. The silence that follows the conflict feels not victory, but a bitter liberation. The walls of the house, which have witnessed so much grief, now seem like empty backdrops to a past life that has come to an end. The film's ending leaves the viewer alone with the quiet flow of the river. Tomoko, realizing that the cycle of violence must be broken once and for all, decides to leave. Her departure is not an escape, but a final act of mercy and self-preservation. Toma remains by the shore, watching the water continue to flow, washing away the traces of the past. He understands that his father's shadow will always be there, but now he knows how to prevent it from consuming him. The film, The Outback, is a harsh but important story about how one person's compassion can become another's lifeline. It is a tale of the spirit's quiet triumph over cruelty, and how even in the darkest place, light can be found if there is someone willing to share your pain.